Another Victory Monday edition, Mr. Irrelevant, presented by Door County Distillery. Malik Strouf with you from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all studios at the Avenue, downtown Milwaukee. Josh DiMaggio is here as well. Intern Will is back as well here at the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all studio. Hunter Vaughn, Tiny Hands, has returned to the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, but he's not sounding great. We'll just let him say hello to everybody. Hello, Hunter.
Hi, we're getting through.
Proud of you, brother. Hey, man, look, Packers fans are just trying to get through too, dude. I feel you, right? 4 wins in a row. Team's now 6-2. Sets up a big first-place game Sunday against the Lions. But will Jordan Love play is obviously going to be the question. He's scheduled to get some tests done today on the groin injury that had him leave Sunday's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is the big question. Will Jordan Love be okay? The good news is the Packers won. They found a way to win with Malik Willis playing quarterback, a final of 30-27. As I mentioned, it's their 4th win in a row. The team now 6-2 in a really good position, both in the NFC North and overall, obviously 4 games above 500. So this is a team that's starting to figure it out with or without Jordan Love, hopefully with, but currently, at least as of yesterday, without. So let's just all agree on one thing. Just one thing. That's all I want to agree on. And that would be this. Let's take a listen and a watch of what happened to the lowly Chicago Bears after the Green Bay Packers had already won yesterday. This, we can all agree on, makes us very happy. Maybe, maybe not. Let's try one more time. Tiny Hands. We all right? We ready to go?
Oh, I thank you for exactly telling me how you wanted to do your show. Yeah, here you go. In one moment.
Comes down to one last play, and it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle!
It's a miracle indeed. The Washington Commanders find a way to walk off the Chicago Bears. Yesterday, Jaden Daniels throws the Hail Mary. Tyreek Stevenson, jaw-jacking to fans. And then, tries to get over there, ends up tipping the ball into the hands of Noah Brown. It was the best meltdown possible for the Chicago Bears as Tyreek Stevenson completely blows the game at the final moment for the Chicago Bears, who really couldn't afford to lose that game to keep pace in the NFC North. But, the Bears are going to Bears, man. They always find a way, seemingly. So the Bears alone in last place of the NFC North now at 4-3. Joshy, I was watching this game. I was thinking to myself, I don't really care what happens, right? Packers won. We're good. We control our own destiny. Big game this week, with or without Love. But, man, did this complete my Sunday. Watching Tyreek Stevenson not even near the middle of the field, jaw-jacking, mocking the fans in Washington, and then ultimately losing the game for the Bears. It made me very happy.
It was a real cherry on top for the victory lap I was taking, watching Aaron Rodgers lose to the Patriots. And then to follow that up in the afternoon slate with just the most boneheaded play you've seen in a long time from anyone. The guy who ended up catching that ball 85 was Tyreek Stevenson's man. He should have been over there, basically attached to him. And then he ran over, tipped it to him to lose a game. Just an embarrassing performance from an embarrassing franchise.
An embarrassing franchise indeed. Bears now 4-3 following the loss to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is fun, dude. Not their best game offensively by any means, Washington's, but I think...
Did you see my tweet?
I did not.
At the end of the third quarter, Caleb Williams had less than 40 passing yards.
Really?
He ended up with over 100 because things took off at the end there for him. But it was... an ugly performance. They also did a fullback dive with a guard.
They did, and he fumbled the football on the goal line, yeah.
Yeah. What the hell are you guys doing?
I think they were trying to do, pay a little homage to the fridge, maybe?
You got to be winning to do that type of stuff.
I mean, I agree with you, but yeah, that was something. So anyway, yeah, that was an unbelievable cherry on top to an interesting Sunday. But the Packers lose Jordan Love. Let's talk about the high, though. Malik Willis was good, right? And the nice part about having Malik Willis, who the Packers obviously traded for earlier in the year, sending a 7th-round pick to Tennessee, is when he's in the game, you don't feel as if the Packers will lose the game, right? You feel as if he gives you enough of a chance to win, especially against bad teams, which luckily that's all Malik Willis has had to play. All AFC South bad teams, Tennessee, Indianapolis, and now Jacksonville. And he's won all 3. I don't know if you feel that type of confidence against the Detroit Lions, but in a game like yesterday, where Jordan Love hands Malik Willis the keys in the second half with a lead, you felt okay about it. He finishes 4 of 5 for 56 yards and a touchdown, and I think it was like 24 rushing yards on a few attempts. He was fine. He completed the pass he needed to, ran the ball when he needed to, didn't turn over the football, let Josh Jacobs carry the offense. It's kind of been their Malik Willis game plan, at least against Indianapolis, a little bit against Tennessee. They let him throw the ball a little bit more in that game. And then here in this one, you've got a lead. Ultimately, it was a tie then at the end of the game. He has a great pass to Jaden Reed, which Reed turns upfield and gets them in field goal position, and ultimately Brandon McManus walks it off like he did a week ago. So the big takeaways from this game for me are this. You feel comfortable enough with Malik Willis. I don't know how comfortable you feel with him against the Detroit Lions, but in a game like against the Jacksonville Jaguars, you feel good with Malik Willis. Thank God the Packers have a veteran kicker. My goodness. How different did the last 2 weeks look if Braden Arvison or Anders Carlson is your kicker? Now, granted, Carlson's been pretty good for San Francisco the last 2 weeks.
50-yarders.
Yeah, been pretty good for San Francisco the last few weeks, but overall, thank goodness Brandon McManus is a Green Bay Packer. Thank goodness. Because I don't know if you win that Tennessee game. I think you still probably win this Jacksonville game because it was a chip shot thanks to Chris Brooks sliding down when he could have scored a touchdown with like 55 seconds left. But all in all, those are the 2 big takeaways. You feel comfortable enough with Malik. Thank God for Brandon McManus. The defense was a little disappointing in the second half. All in all, though, right, the Edgerrin Cooper play and Devontae Wyatt playing bully ball for that turnover was huge. It swung the momentum a little bit back in the Packers' favorite. Devontae Wyatt just hip checking that dude and jumping on the football was a big boy football right there. That was a big boy play and a big play for the Packers defense. But all in all, allowing 17 points in the second half. Trevor Lawrence got going a little bit. Their passing game got going quite a bit with big contributions from Christian Kirk, who's going to miss the rest of the season now, and Brian Thomas Jr., who might miss the next few weeks. Tank Bigsby is a stud. He had a nice game for Jacksonville's offense, 18 carries, 78 yards. Yesterday was not the defense's best day. I mean, when you see what they did to Houston a week ago versus what they did to Jacksonville yesterday, I think you'd rather have that Houston performance, which is surprising to me because I think Houston is a much better offense than Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, you could take it for what it is, but it became very clear that Evan Williams is extremely important to the functioning of that defense. And the Packers were kind of playing mix and match. Like, they brought in Eric Stokes and then benched Eric Stokes later. Javon Bullard got picked on a little bit. I'm not overly discouraged by anything on the back end as much as the pass rush is still just absolutely bringing you virtually nothing. Yeah,
there was 1 sack in that game's entirety. Or 2, I guess, because Malik took that one at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But you only got the Lawrence once. And that was your boy Edgerrin Cooper,
right? Who is by design getting there, not like it's not like he's lining up on the edge and beating anyone.
No,
that Rashawn Gary video of him doing the crossover stuff and then only to get punched back, thrown back. Come on, man.
What was he doing there? Was he like celebrating the fact that the NBA is back?
No,
was he being cocky? What was he doing?
Myles Garrett did it last year. And I believe he was doing it, and they were calling timeout because they were so worried about what Myles Garrett was going to do. And then people like the good pass rushers in the league who've been brought into similar situations have done it. Like I believe Darius Smith did it. I believe also Michael Parsons has done it. So it's like a thing now that edge rushers are doing. The problem is our edge rusher only has 2 sacks.
Yeah, week 1 and a couple weeks ago.
And the only time he gets home is when the the tackle either doesn't get out of his stance or falls over out of his stance.
And we don't need to talk about that. You're of course referring to Rashawn Gary with
Yeah.
only 2 sacks on the season. Yeah, no, the pass rush is virtually non-existent when you're rushing 4, which do we think that's going to get better, or is that just something we have to live with? Because through about halfway through the season now at 6-2, it feels like something you just have to live with.
Unless you make a move at the deadline for someone.
I don't think they're going to.
I don't either, just history being what it is. But with the team as good as it is, and that being such a glaring issue, how do you not use your picks to help up there?
Yeah, because, and look, I think Goody's moves in the last 6 months have proven he knows where this team is, right?
Yes.
This is a championship contending team. So would there be a case to make a move for an edge rusher or D tackle at the deadline? Maybe. And obviously it'd be more edge rusher than D tackle, because I think you feel pretty good about Clark and Wyatt and Carl Brooks. But I just don't see it happening. And does this get better? Maybe. But clearly Rashawn Gary just probably isn't it at this point. I think it's
LVN has like 4 total pressures on the season.
Yeah.
He got stonewalled by a tight end yesterday.
Sure did. I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, you just simply need more. And what is the answer there? If they're not just going to start magically creating pressure out of nowhere.
No, you're not.
8 games is a lot to have an idea of, are they able to do it?
Yeah, it's about halfway through the season.
And the answer is emphatically no.
Yeah. No, I mean, it'll be nice because, look, next week is week 9, obviously, and that would be 9 games for the Packers. Then they go into their bye week. So their bye is right smack dab in the middle of the season. So a week from now and the following week, we're going to have a long period to really evaluate what this team is. How nervous are you about Love?
Not terribly.
You think he plays this weekend?
No, I don't. I think they hold him out, especially with that bye the following week, just because those are the types.
That makes me nervous.
Those are the types of injuries you can re-aggravate.
Right. Yeah, groins are no good. And clearly Love, I mean, he wasn't even really being evaluated. He just said, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, which is impressive. If you have the ability to say, I'm not going to keep doing this, Malik gives us a better chance, then do it.
Yeah, and he did it, and ultimately it worked, right? A win's a win, and you're never going to apologize even when you win ugly in the NFL. A win is still a win, and you know, we've talked a lot the last week about quote-unquote trap games, which I don't really believe in. If Jordan Love is healthy that whole game, if Evan Williams is healthy that whole game, if Jair is healthy that whole game, if Quay Walker plays, does that game look a little bit different than it turned out? Yes, of course it does.
I think people really underrated the fact that Matt LaFleur said Jordan Love can barely move back there in the halftime interview he did. And the way that changes what the Packers want to do on offense is a lot. Like, they prep all week to have that play action. They want him under center, dropping back, having multiple options. And they basically just had to go to shotgun and have him be a statue, have him turn into late stage Eli Manning back there, which any defense is going to have an easier time against.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Good news in terms of the Evan Williams front, according to Aaron Nagler of Cheesehead TV. No long-term concerns for Evan Williams, trending towards being ready for Detroit, which is huge. He's been probably your 3rd best defender this season.
Who's second?
Adrian Cooper?
I think Evan Williams is more impactful simply for being on the field 100% once he is.
Yeah.
Adrian Cooper
huge though.
Keeps making plays.
I mean, he is an every down player. And we talked about this, 4 weeks ago with those two specifically, both those rookies, Evan Williams and Adrian Cooper, are huge.
He should be an every down player. He played the third most amount of snaps at the linebacker position last week on Sunday. I don't know. They've mentioned he makes mistakes, and it's like, okay, man, I guess. But is any guy out there going to be able to follow Christian Kirk down the seam like Adrian Cooper did? Who else is getting sacks like Adrian Cooper seemingly every single week?
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, by the way, I just want to point out, on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube stream, you are not watching Pato Football Monday with Gary Ellerson and Greg Matzik. This is Mr. Relevant. I'm Alex Strouf. That's Joshie DiMaggio. Somebody must be messing with settings while we're live here, Joshie.
I've changed it 3 times.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Yeah, I just flipped over to it. And I'm like, yeah, Hunter wouldn't do this. Because Hunter, okay, interesting. Well, this is Mr. Irrelevant, not Pato Football Monday. Just wanted to point that out.
If you're listening, stop it.
What do you mean?
The person who's doing it.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, stop doing that.
They know we're live.
Maybe they don't. Who knows? Mike chimes in. Don't sleep on Eric Wilson. He's been in the conversation as well. Yeah, he's been really good. Filling in for Quay yesterday. Once again, Eric Wilson's been super impressive when he's been out there. Yeah. Are your best two linebackers Eric Wilson and Edgerrin Cooper? I don't know where you stand on the Quay Walker thing. Obviously, he missed yesterday's game, so you can't really draw from that. But they've probably been your two best linebackers this year.
Yeah, I think Quay Walker, if anything, is just playing out of position, and he's not the strong linebacker, green dot guy that they have him playing as. He's clearly athletic. He clearly has a lot of ability, but he's not good at what he's asked to do. And Quay Walker will, on occasion, make a splash play, but maybe they need to just find another use for him.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. I'm excited to get him back, obviously. You want to be full strength, and it sounds like he'll be back this weekend against Detroit. But the big one will continue to be Jordan Love. And I think, we'll take a look at the Lions here in a second once we take a break. But I think I can safely speak for most Packers fans. I do not feel very confident in our chances in beating the Lions if Malik Willis is lining up under center to start that game. Josh, I'll let you stew on that for a minute, because I'm hoping you're on the flip side and you can convince me to have some optimism for this game. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think on it, all right?
Thinking has started.
All right, good. Yeah, I can see the smoke coming out of your ears back there, bud. Yep. Don't think too hard. Think too hard. And when it comes to liquor, you never have to think too hard. The answer is always Door County Distillery. Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County, Wisconsin. Beautiful this time of year. I've been seeing pictures of the leaves up there, man. Beautiful. For me, football season's whiskey season. Bourbon, man. The bourbon was flowing this week. I'm not going to lie to you. Late night Saturday with Wisconsin playing late. Football all day yesterday was great. I sat on my butt all day. Threw a pot roast in the crock pot, had a few whiskeys from Door County Distillery. Was drinking their bourbon specifically. Their single malt, also really good, 27-time gold medal award winning. Also their delicious rye whiskey. Are there whiskey selections at Door County Distillery? Maybe whiskey's not your thing. Apple brandy, cherry vodka, normal vodka, gin. They've got them all at Door County Distillery. Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits. Check out their website, doorcountydistillery.com. Find the retailer nearest you, as well as a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. That is doorcountydistillery.com. We'll step aside for 60. When we return, Joshy maybe tries to convince me to have some optimism if Malik Willis is leading the charge for the Packers on Sunday against the Detroit Lions, because this is a huge game coming up Sunday at Lambeau Field. We dive into that coming up next. It's Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf.
Happy spooky season. What's the best drink this October? My friends at Door County Distillery are going to teach me how to make it.
Fall in a glass, it's the Apple Butter Bourbon Fizz from Door County Distillery. All you got to do is scoop apple butter into a cocktail shaker, take 2.5 ounces of your bourbon, shake that, strain that, and then fill the rest of the cup with ginger beer. And if you like to, which I like to, dash a little cinnamon on top of that. Boom, shakalaka, you've got the Apple Butter Bourbon Fizz from Door County Distillery.
Cheers, the Apple Butter Bourbon Fizz. I'm not going to say it 5 times fast. There's like a apple cider taste to it.
Apple cider vibes, yeah.
That's like corn maze for adults drink. Is what that tastes like.
Check out their website with a huge list of unique cocktail recipes at doorcountydistillery.com. That's doorcountydistillery.com. Yeah, doorcountydistillery.com is the website. So this Packers-Lions game coming up Sunday. Not to turn the page too quickly from this Jacksonville game, but look. You had a little bit of the good, you had a little bit of the bad, you had a lot of bit of the ugly in that game, including the injury front, which we'll get to more in Stock Up, Stock Down. But a win's a win, and now all attention has to be turned to Sunday. It's a first-place game. Lions are 6-1, Packers are 6-2. Winner of that game is going to have full control of the NFC North, which is a huge game. Huge. I cannot overstate it. If the Packers win and go into their bye week at 7-2 with a tiebreaker over the Lions, I mean, you know what that means for the rest of the season. You control your own destiny, not only to win the division, but you're going to have a damn good shot at the number 1 seed in that bye come playoff time. So this is, I think it's probably fair to say this is the biggest game of the NFL season so far. America's Game of the Week, Sunday on Fox, 3:25 kick at Lambeau Field. It's the biggest game of the season thus far. Any game of the season between the Packers and the Lions. It's going to tell you who is the front runner in the NFC North. However, the Packers, I don't want to make any injury diagnosis. I'm not a doctor, but I would guess the Packers are likely to be without Jordan Love. And maybe I'll be proven wrong later this afternoon when we hear some results on the the scan front and hear from head coach Matt LaFleur on his status. But as it stands right now, 12:52 p.m. on Monday, I would guess the Packers are likely to be without Jordan Love, and Malik Willis will start this game for the Packers. Now, as I started the show with, a really nice part about Malik Willis is he's gained your trust, right? He's appeared in 3 games this year. He's won all 3 of them. He's not losing games. He's not turning over the football. He's not making stupid throws. He's not making bad decisions. All good decisions and all W's for Malik Willis so far. 3 wins for him, including the walk-off yesterday. I don't feel confident with him starting against the Lions. Joshy, convince me otherwise.
Well, here's the thing. The line of this game already has the Lions as like 3.5-point favorites on the road. So that would imply roughly a 30% chance that the Packers win it. It is a tall mountain to climb there, but if you are going to stop the Lions, who just put up 52 points with the least amount of yards ever in the history of the NFL, that is the most points scored with the least amount of yards, you have to play an absolutely clean game, and you have to control the clock on them and not let their offense just start humming on you. And the way to do that is running, like we saw run 2 previous times in the Titans and Colts game. It's unlikely. It's a gigantic challenge, but this isn't dead on arrival. 3 points is not a lot. The total would imply that if this game were with Jordan Love, the game would be somewhere around Packers favored. So that is gigantic. The team is there. Obviously, the quarterback is really the only position that moves the lines. But with a defense that is as opportunistic as the Packers have been, with the rushing attack and Malik Willis back there, who frankly hasn't made a single mistake, really.
No.
Knock on wood on that, and he'll probably end up making a mistake if push comes to shove here. But if the Packers can control the game and keep it close, then you're just looking for a few bounces to go your way. Like, it's possible, but it's going to be top to bottom. Everyone needs to play almost flawless.
You just acknowledged the biggest thing. Malik Willis, which he's done this year, needs to play turnover-free football.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, no interceptions in the 3 games he's played, completing 75% of his passes, just a touch under 400 yards in 3 games. Quarterback rating of 130.3, which is the highest in the NFL this season of quarterbacks with at least 30 attempts. Willis is 39. He's been really good.
Yeah.
Efficient. Maybe not really good, but he's been efficient. He hasn't been super sexy. He hasn't been super dazzling. He hasn't done anything insane, but he's been good. And good enough. And yes, if you play turnover-free football, you're not going to allow 52 points. The Titans turned the ball over 4 times yesterday, and the Lions converted on it. You mentioned it. They only had 229 yards and put up 52 points. That's how dangerous that Lions team is. That offense is so well-rounded. They have the best 1-2 punch of running backs in the league with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They have some really good pass-catching options. They'll once again be without Jamison Williams due to the PED suspension. This will be the final game he misses, but you still got Amon-Ra. You still got Sam Laporta. You got the running backs. It's a scary offense. And their defense is pretty damn good as well, minus, obviously, the big but is they are without Aiden Hutchinson. So I'm not underestimating how good the Lions are, because they're really good. And I view them as probably the best team in the NFL. And I know there's an undefeated team remaining. I still view the Lions as the best team. This one's got me nervous. I'm nervous on a Monday. If Love plays...
Are you saying you wouldn't be nervous?
No, I'd still be nervous.
I was going to say,
I've been nervous for this game for 3 weeks. I mean, when you look at their schedule, right, Houston was kind of like the one you circled, going, hey, that's where they can get their signature win. They can keep the winning streak alive by going to Jacksonville, getting business done, and then it's showtime. I mean, this is a huge game.
Here's what I want everyone to recognize. At full strength, Vegas views the Green Bay Packers and the Lions as less than a point different. So they're telling you the Green Bay Packers are just as good as the Lions. Now, it hasn't played out in the field in the way we want. It hasn't been, they haven't done what the Lions do. But when you look at how they value these games, the Packers are just as good, roster-wise, that's what they're telling us, as that other team. Obviously, coaching matters here, but not like they've got schlubs over there in Detroit coaching. Like, the players are there for the Packers. Now, does Jair play? He's also getting scanned, Rob Domofsky reported. That's a big difference because the Packers right now, they want Nixon and Jair out there on the outside. They want Evan Williams and Javon Bullard as well. If they're down 2 of those guys or even just one, that really changes how the defense is going to look and perform.
100%.
This is what we live for. Close games.
Yeah.
You gotta be the best. You got to beat the best.
Yes, but I want my best to play.
Hey, it's not always. Sometimes it's when you play them, not who you're playing.
If Malik Willis beats the Lions, the discourse is going to be bad.
Oh yeah, it started already.
Has it?
Oh yeah.
I have not seen quarterback controversy comments.
There's people sneaking it in.
They don't mean it though.
I don't know.
Nobody in their right mind believes Malik Willis is a better quarterback than Jordan Love.
Tell you what, Jordan Love's not making it easy on himself.
No, he's throwing a lot of interceptions. Threw another one yesterday, didn't throw a touchdown. Josh Jacobs obviously had a couple of nice touchdowns, but no touchdowns, 1 interception. Malik Willis, on the other hand, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Do with that what you will.
Yeah.
You're not a believer in the
No, I don't think that, but I've seen it. It's out there. I had callers call in and say it on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning.
Did you put them on the air?
No.
Good idea.
Yeah.
He goes, no. Not today. Yeah. Look, what Malik Willis has done is really impressive. It's really impressive. 3 wins, all AFC South teams. That's bad division.
The problem we have here is the film is becoming quite out there on Malik Willis and Matt LaFleur when he doesn't have Jordan Love. 2 of them you could get by. Remember, they won the first game. Like, all right, what are you going to do for the second game? Because obviously, no one here trusts Malik Willis as much as you would trust, say, a Jordan Love.
Right.
So you kind of got to try and find a middle ground here. What is the third iteration of the Malik Willis Packers offense going to look like? And is it going to be unique enough that it's going to make the other team look as lost as they did, frankly, in the first 2?
Yeah, he's got to get in his bag. And we trust him to do that. He's such a great head coach, and he's such a great offensive mind. And what he did against Tennessee specifically, and I know they're a horrible team, like we just mentioned, Detroit threw 52 on him yesterday and had less than 250 yards, 4 turnovers. Tennessee's horrible. But what they did against Tennessee was really impressive, right? Willis scores the rushing touchdown early in that game, doesn't have to fling it too much. They play with a lead, they play conservative, and they win by 16 points. You're not going to be able to do that against Detroit, but the way Josh Jacobs is playing is an encouraging sign.
Who also left the game with an injury.
Did I miss that?
Yeah, he seems to be all right, but he had something.
Is that why we had so much Chris Brooks late?
Yes. And I believe because smartly, Matt LaFleur told the running back standing next to him, hey, they're going to try and let you score, go down. And that's why Chris Brooks replaced Emmanuel Wilson at that time.
Emmanuel Wilson, my guy. I still like Emmanuel, but I'm really in on this Chris Brooks fella.
I mean, this is just a classic sports fan. The new guy at the running back position is now our favorite guy.
Let's get the stock up and stock down here on Mr. Irrelevant. We start with stock up. We start with Chris Brooks. We actually will start there. He's on my list. I didn't have him number 1, but we'll start with him. Chris Brooks is number 1 for me in terms of stock up. I thought he's like having a 6th offensive lineman out there. In terms of pass protection, he was awesome. And then a really heads-up play by him at the end of the game, and instead of scoring the touchdown when I think it was like 55 seconds left, and giving Trevor Lawrence, 55 seconds and a timeout to go win the game or tie the game and bring it to overtime, Chris Brooks went down, let the clock run out, and ultimately they kicked the field goal for the win. It was a heady play by him. I thought he showed some really nice stuff in pass pro. And look, you don't need him to be your top dog when it comes to being your best runner of the football. That's why you have Josh Jacobs. That's why you have Emmanuel Wilson. Brooks is bringing a different dimension to the running back position by being a really solid blocker, and he had some nice carries, including that one there at the end of the game. So Chris Brooks, a guy who I'm assuming a lot of Packers fans didn't even know until this week, or maybe last week. I know he played a little bit last week. Because was it Arizona? Was that the first game we really saw him in? And then Houston, he played a little bit. And then this week, he played the most he has. But regardless, I imagine not a lot of Packers fans knew who he was. And to see the progression, A, but B, to also see the upside that he brings to the offense was really important and really crucial down the stretch there. So I will give Chris Brooks a stock up. Let's stick with stock up. Let's go to the guy we've been talking plenty about, and that is Malik Willis. Malik Willis is a really good backup quarterback. You know, I forget who I said this to yesterday, but it feels like Malik Willis is kind of the couple of years ago version of the Ravens, right? When Lamar Jackson kept getting hurt, I think this would have been in 2021? Yeah, 3 years ago. When Tyler Huntley finally arrived and he ended up making a Pro Bowl. Yeah, Snoop Huntley. You felt comfortable with Snoop, with Tyler Huntley coming in for Lamar, even if he wasn't seriously injured, rather than putting a 70% Lamar Jackson out there. You put Tyler Huntley out there, and he played well. It kind of feels like that's what the Packers are starting to do with Malik Willis, right? Love probably could have played yesterday. Maybe he couldn't have. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But he comes out of the game, and I don't think anybody really flinched, right? I'm sitting on my couch. I go, okay, a non-mobile Jordan Love isn't the most threatening quarterback in the world. Not that his mobility is his top attribute or asset, but without having that as an option, he's definitely slowed down. When you bring in Willis, who can throw the ball really well, and he did. He only threw for 5 passes, but 4 of them completions, and can control the offense and manage the offense, you feel confident that you're still going to win the game. And there was never really a doubt the Packers were going to win that game in my mind. Right? I mean, it got chippy there at the end when it was 27-all. And by no means did I go, oh boy, Malik Willis, game-winning drive, here we go. But the Jags are no good. Malik Willis is much better than what we thought he was entering this year. And he's proven that. So he's earned faith in Packers fans. Now, enough faith to go beat the Detroit Lions on Sunday, that's a different conversation. But enough faith to beat the Titans, the Colts, and the Jaguars, yes. So Malik Willis continuing to prove he is a valuable asset and continuing to make Goody look good. I mean, second week in a row where you go, wow, without Goody, I don't know if they win this game, between him and Brandon McManus. So good on Goody by making this move at the end of the preseason. And good on Malik Willis for making it happen. 3-0 now when he appears in games this season is Malik Willis, including a crucial second half yesterday. No turnovers once again for Malik Willis, which is hopefully something that continues here this weekend against Detroit. Let's stick with stock up. Final stock up for you. I probably haven't given him enough credit the last couple of weeks. This is a guy Joshy's been all over. That would be the linebacker Edgerrin Cooper. A sack yesterday, a forced fumble yesterday that Devontae Wyatt jumps on. Edgerrin Cooper is an every down linebacker. We've said that for a few weeks. He continues to prove us right. It seems like every time he's out there, he's making plays, big plays, being disruptive, being, getting in the backfield, forcing the fumbles, forcing the turnovers. What he has done so far this season has been really impressive. And for a guy that maybe you didn't know a ton about, he was your early pick in the second round. You figured he was going to play a role. He was a top 10 sack guy last year in the what conference was A&M in last year? Were they in Big 12 or SEC?
That's a Hunter question.
Hunter?
SEC. They've been there since like 2014.
Snippy today.
Dude, it's been a decade. Like, it's not like it's one of the ACC teams that just moved this year. You've had 10 years to know what conference Texas A&M plays in.
So they're still SEC? Okay, but yes. Oklahoma and Texas just joined the SEC.
Yes.
And they were Big 12.
Yes.
Okay, I thought
Southwest
A&M was in the
before
Big 12.
that.
I love conference history lessons. Okay, so anyway, my point here was Edgerrin Cooper last year was top 10 in sacks in the SEC. Seems like his play is translating really well. So to your point, Josh, this is an every down guy. They've got a stud at linebacker. His name's Edgerrin Cooper, and his stock continues to ascend. He had another really impressive. I thought he was really good yesterday.
Okay. Yes, he absolutely was. He's all over the field, seemingly seems to play at a different speed than everyone else, which is the kind of thing you've seen in those linebackers they're showing right now, the Niners game. Those guys they have, aside from Devondre Campbell, who's a stand-in for Greenlaw, who tore his ACL, his Achilles. He's everywhere. Can Tucker Kraft's stock go up?
Yeah, I didn't put him on here today. Yes, maybe not.
Because his stock is sky high already.
His stock is best tight end in the league.
He just keeps making plays. And it's like impressive plays.
You texted me. He's better than George Kittle. I don't know if you were being serious or not, but you did text me that.
That was a little tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, George Kittle's really good.
I mean, it's he's in really good company. I think he's 5th in tight ends for receiving yards on the year. Maybe 4th, or excuse me, maybe 6th. But he's right there. I mean, he's 2 yards behind Cade Otton, who had a huge game yesterday for Tampa Bay. Zach Ertz has had a really nice year in Washington. Hunter Henry's been good for a horrible Patriots team. And then Pitts, McBride, and Kittle leading the way in terms of tight ends, and Brock Bowers. So he's like 7th in terms of yards. I would imagine he's up there for touchdowns with 5 of them, though. In fact, that's tied for 3rd in the league with Allen Lazard, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tucker Kraft.
You also have to look at the usage for some of those players, because the Packers have the luxury of being able to target about 5 or 6 guys multiple times. Brock Bowers is the entirety of the Raiders offense. Guys like George Kittle are getting a lot more usage. I think, obviously, you don't want to just focus solely on your tight end because he does so much blocking for them, but I think they need to keep finding more and more ways to get Tucker Kraft the ball, because he's not getting enough usage, in my opinion.
You're probably right. I mean, yardage-wise, he's not.
And he's a little injured, and he's been dealing with stuff.
Everybody is at this time of the year.
Yeah. He's like one of those warrior guys, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's he's so good. But let's get the stock down, because this is the part that I don't want to say frustrates me, but it scares me. Injuries. I've got no real stock down. I've got the health of this team stock down. I jinxed it. I'm going to take the blame on this one. As we look back at yesterday's pregame show, Green Bay Game Day, ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ, I asked Rob Domofsky a question. I go, hey, Rob, the health of this team is unbelievable. How is this team so healthy? This is such a great situation for them to be in. They've got nobody injured other than Quay Walker. He goes, yeah, it's really impressive for them to be this healthy this late in the year. Then Jordan Love goes down. Then Jair Alexander goes down. And Evan Williams goes down. Quay Walker misses another game. I'm starting to have some serious concerns about the health of this team. This is, I just got called a toad for being concerned about the injuries. Sorry, Jalen. My bad. Chewy would be proud. This is concerning. Going into the biggest game of the year. This is the biggest game of the year, bar none. It's a huge, huge, huge game. As the Packers get ready to take on the Detroit Lions, first place of the NFC North is on the line Sunday at Lambeau Field. If they end up falling in this game, you can chalk it up to this. If they have no Evan Williams, which, like I mentioned earlier, it sounds like he's headed the right trajectory. If there's no Jordan Love, if there's no Jair, again, seemingly is always hurt. This is the really concerning part about this Packers team, because they're so damn good. They're so talented. The ceiling isn't even the beginning of what am I looking for here, Josh? I got lost in word salad there.
I don't know.
The ceiling is not even the roof. Does that make sense? I got lost.
Are you looking for like the sky is the limit?
Yeah. The sky isn't even the limit. That's what I'm looking for. Yes.
The ceiling is not the roof.
The ceiling is not the... That doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense, because they're two different things.
Wait, really? So the ceiling is inside, the roof is outside?
Goodness gracious.
That's how you
Wow.
That's how you would define that? That'd be correct, though, right? What I just said?
When you get your roof replaced, you also get your ceiling replaced?
I think it depends on the job. Depends on the company you hire to do it. They might want to take the whole thing off. Right? You ever hear the saying it blew the roof off? They don't say it blew the ceiling off.
So there certainly is.
But usually those things happen inside that blow the roof off.
There is certainly some places where the roof and the ceiling are pretty close to each other, but you generally need to insulate between there because it'd be pretty cold.
Okay.
Pretty hot.
You never worked a construction job, did you?
No, I just have basic understanding of things.
That's what I lack.
Yeah.
Okay. Stuff. So So anyway, stock down to health of this Green Bay Packers team as Jordan Love, Evan Williams, Jair Alexander all leave that game with injuries. We don't have a status update on any of them yet. Hopefully those come. Dude, I'm going to be a nervous wreck all week. Can you already you can already tell.
Yeah.
I'm a mess.
I mean, what are you going to do about it?
I can't do anything about it.
Right. So why are you going to be nervous?
Because that's how I operate. The Packers dictate my mood for the entire week. And despite a win, I am so nervous about Sunday. I'm really nervous about Sunday.
If we can't call it a house money game, but that's how I'm feeling. Go out there, give it your all. Malik Willis, pull
House
some
money game?
Yeah.
If the Lions advance to 7-1 and you're 6-3, that's going to provide some issues down the road if you want to win this division.
I'm not terribly concerned about
Must
the
win.
division.
Must win.
Wow. How are you going to must win without your quarterback?
If you want to win the division, it's a must win.
You could just split with them.
Yeah, but then you need others. You don't control your own destiny then.
Yeah, we're halfway through the season. Do we think the Lions are never going to lose again?
I mean, they've won 5 in a row.
How many have the Packers won in a row?
4.
Wow.
That's less than 5 last time I checked.
Wow.
You think I'm a doubter?
Yeah, your Bears fan from earlier this season's poking out.
No, because they're going to play the Bears after the bye week and smoke them.
I tried to explain to you guys that people view these teams as similarly. The problem is if you don't have 3 of your 5 best players, it's going to be tough.
All right, here we go. Ian Rappaport, breaking news. Source, Packers quarterback Jordan Love's MRI came back with some good news. It's a strained groin, which is nothing major. Well, now we got to go over to the good old Googler. How long does what did I say it was?
Strained groin.
Strained groin take to recover NFL?
I wonder if it depends on how big it is.
Groin? Oh, come on. That was unnecessary. A mild strain that involves overstretching or tearing up to 5% of the muscle fibers. Recovery time is usually 2 to 3 weeks.
Sounds like you waited out until after the bye week.
Damn it! That according to, I got to cite my sources on this one. That according to fittoplay.org. That's a real website.
Sounds reputable.
Yeah, good.
What about WebMD?
I don't trust WebMD. They always say I'm going to die.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
They
still
do.
here.
Still
Knock
kicking.
on wood.
Still kicking, brother. All right, so that doesn't make me feel a ton better about him playing this week. You don't think he's going to play?
No, it doesn't make sense. That's your franchise quarterback. You have bigger plans than beating the Lions.
You got to beat the Lions.
You're good enough to make the playoffs without beating the Lions in this one. If you want to win the division, it would be great. But I'm not going to be losing sleep when the Packers are in the wild card round going, man, wish we would have won that one game.
Yeah. Well, I would. I'll do that. I'll be that guy. Jalen chimes in, RELAX Strouf. Yeah, that's fair, Jalen. Mad City Brew, this is not a must-win game. It's later. The field could be wet. Sit loud. Be smart. Okay. This is why you are all smarter than me. You're all smarter than me. But hey, man, still optimistic. Just not super optimistic. I don't know. If Malik Willis beats the Lions, the discourse, though, would be, I mean, that would just be fun. People are going to be longing for him to be the starting quarterback, which will never happen. But, you know, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, this team will be in it. It's just, the Lions are really good, and I think people forget how good they are, right? 52 against Tennessee is obviously not impossible, given their opponent. But 52 points is still a lot of points.
An awful lot of points.
I mean, they scored 47 on Hunter's Cowboys a couple weeks ago. Put a 42 on the Seahawks the week before that. Dropped 31 on the Vikings last week in a walk-off win. It's a good team.
Yeah, yep.
All
I've
right.
been all year. Thought they've been for a while.
Oh, Joshy's already sick of me. Uh-oh. Looks like we got to end the show. All right, you learn something new every day. We learned something new today. It's time now for what we learned. And speaking of injuries, guys, I'm playing hurt today. I'm getting old. It's not good. I woke up Saturday morning with an awful pain in my neck. It's like, maybe I just slept weird, I'll start laying on the other side. By Saturday night, Joshy, I couldn't even move. You texted me to come out on Saturday. I couldn't even move. And here we are 2 days later. I can't look left.
You slept wrong?
I would assume so. That's what happened. But the
Give me your best look left.
All right. That's about as far as I can go. I can't go further.
Have you been properly hydrating?
Yeah, I've been drinking a lot of water. In between the few bourbons I had. But yeah, I've been drinking lots of water.
Huh.
So I don't know how long this is supposed to last, but I might be questionable for the Lions game.
You know, one time,
Awful.
One of my more embarrassing injuries, and I've had a couple of them. One, falling over after having too many beverages and tripping on the curb. Two would be partially tearing my MCL while ding-dong ditching houses in high school.
Nice.
And the other one was when I was groggy, half asleep, and slipped down the stairs and caused myself to get whiplash in my neck, to which I had to hold like this for being in extreme pain for about 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Can we go back to the ding-dong ditching MCL?
Yeah, for sure.
I've never heard the story. So you were in high school?
Yes, I believe we it was pre-cars, because I think that kind of went on.
So you were like a freshman or sophomore?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know the person you were ding-dong ditching?
I did not. It was somebody in a friend's neighborhood whom they knew,
Okay.
and they knew they were particularly people who didn't like to be ding-dong ditched.
Okay.
So
Did you get caught?
No. It was tall grass. I had run across the street, was running up a hill, and then it straightened out, and there was a big hole in the ground. My foot went into the ground and hyperextended, much like we saw with Jordan Love.
Do not compare yourself to world-class athletes.
Two Warriors sustaining partially torn MCLs. And yeah, it was painful. It was hard to walk for a while. I had to have it basically like straightened out, and I was on crutches for a bit. And I told my parents that we were playing football in the backyard.
Oh,
I heard it doing
did
that.
you ever tell them the truth?
Yeah, well, I told them on the air one time.
Okay.
They discovered that injury when they were listening to, I believe, it was Skeleton and Brust back in the day.
Okay. All right. Well, good. See, anyway, I'm getting old. My neck is real messed up, but it is what it is. Hunter, what you learn? You all right back there?
Yeah, I'm good. So I was thinking about holding on to this till my voice was better, but it bothered me enough on college game day post game that I have to bring it up. Badger fans, I've learned, are delusional about the Paul Chryst era at Wisconsin, and I'm tired of it.
Accurate. Yep.
Had a YouTube comment comparing the Badgers firing Chryst to Nebraska firing Bo Pelini, and I'm tired of the comparison. It's not anywhere close to the same. Bo Pelini was making donors and the AD mad, wasn't willing to work with them. They weren't getting over the hump. They had to make a change. Paul Chryst was getting his ass beat by Illinois at home, was never going to try and adapt to what college football is, and that team was going downhill fast, and they had to make a change to save the program. They're two very different situations, and they aren't the same, and we need to stop treating them as if they were the same thing. And I'm tired of it. Badger fans are stupid.
I can get down with that. I can get down. Whoa, okay.
Hey, yo.
That was a lot. I don't think I'm stupid. Thank you very much. Badgers obviously lose to Penn State on Saturday night, a game in which they had a really good opportunity to win. They had the lead at halftime. That's a really big missed opportunity by the Badgers. And Braden Locke ended Locktober on a very low note. A couple of bad picks, bad throws, deflected throws, whatever. Braden Locke is clearly not it. He is not a guy that's going to get you to the college football playoff. We can go ahead and say that.
Bold take you got there.
No, it's not. I mean, I'm just saying, Saturday was an absolute final example of that, right? And I'd be open to the idea of going to maybe Matoyer, who they are planning on redshirting. He's the freshman out of the Woodlands, Texas, 4-star recruit.
I guess I don't understand what the value would be in that.
He's your quarterback of the future, so get him some reps.
The problem is he already appeared in one game, so to keep his red shirt, they'd have to wait until potentially here after the Oregon game. So, he won't show up against Iowa unless there's an injury. Then don't use him in Oregon because then you get him for Nebraska, Minnesota, and then the bowl game if they can win one of those three.
But I'm saying screw the red shirt. I'm saying play him the rest of the year.
Well, he has a say in that, too.
Yeah. And
But you think any football player's going to be like, well, I don't want to play. I don't want to start a quarterback.
In the age of NIL and coming compensation antitrust,
Maybe.
yeah, I would think they've got a little more say than you'd imagine and would be a little more reticent.
You just wanted to use that word.
and if
That's
he was
just my
ready,
brain clicking on all cylinders.
we would have heard about him in the offseason. So
It's fair. All right. Well, really happy episode today for Victory
You
Monday.
really brought it down. I feel good.
Well, I don't. The Jordan Love stuff scares the crap out of me. I'm really impressed by Malik Willis, but I'm not going to be impressed by him Sunday. And that's what makes me nervous. That's the attitude, right?
That's a loser brain right there.
Yeah, I've got plenty more time to debrief this, right? We've got Kyle Brust and Norman coming up 2 to 5. I'm filling in for Steve the Homer to run the Homer Hour from 5 to 6 tonight with Brian Balaga.
It's wild to stake so much on one game out of a 17-game schedule.
Agreed.
This is your Super Bowl.
It's up there for sure. Until they meet again later in the season.
When they play again. Yeah. Are you trying to have a 3 Super Bowl season here? I think you're just getting greedy.
No, I want to have like a 5 Super Bowl season. So Texans were one of them. This will be one of them. The other Lions game will be one of them. Divisional round, NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. All the Super Bowl for me.
Take a deep breath. Packers won 6-2. Pretty good record.
6-2, baby. It's pretty good.
Pretty good team.
Pretty good team. Good defense, I think. Except at the end of the game.
Need some work.
Yeah. Pass rush.
Yeah.
Needs to get better. Josh Jacobs. Good addition.
Yes.
Okay, here. I'll do this. I got you. Tucker Kraft. Really good tight end. Jaden Reed. Superstar. Evan Williams. Edrin Cooper. Big hits in the draft. Brandon McManus bringing in the kicker midseason.
I feel like we're doing that TikTok trend where the give me my money and people clap thing because the clapping thing is very unbecoming.
Give me my money. We'll talk to you on Wednesday beginning at 12:30 Central. ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison YouTube pages, the ESPN Madison Facebook page. Available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand. Mr. Relevant is presented by Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits. And, of course, brought to you by our friends at Underdog and UnderdogFantasy.com. Use promo code GoodKarma at sign-up, GOODKARMA. Good Karma at sign-up. You get up to $1,000 deposit match, and you get a free pick when you use promo code Good Karma at sign up on the free Underdog app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Big rebound Sunday Night Football for me. 3-pick entry hit for me in Sunday Night Football. So ended up getting over even for the weekend, which is good. Shout out to Hunter's boy CeeDee Lamb getting in the end zone a couple of times. That helped me out big time. So we're looking to keep that momentum rolling here into the Monday night game. Some baseball tonight, some basketball tonight. Might do a little mixed sport entry on the Underdog app, UnderdogFantasy.com as I channel surf. It's so fun to play Underdog. You got to join us. Promo code Good Karma at sign up, GOODKARMA, all one word, on the Underdog app, UnderdogFantasy.com. Joshy, you're smirking.
I was just waiting for the lash out from Hunter. I know he's a little under the weather.
yeah,
But I feel like we've been deprived of our Cowboys fan anger. Just give me a little taste.
I'm just checked out, man. Like, I got nothing. Gonna rebuild behind
CeeDee
Dak
Lamb's
Prescott, who's an absolute bum, and CeeDee Lamb, and then they're gonna pay Micah Parsons $40 million a year to not show up in big games and get hurt. Awesome. I got 6 more years of this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Woo!
Let's go, baby.
There it is.
I liked it. I liked it. Hey, we'll end the show with this from Kurt on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. All caps, by the way. Caps lock on, Josh. You ready?
Mad?
Should I yell?
Yes.
From Kurt. We have a better chance to win with Willis. If Love was 100% and could scramble, then diff story. But with Willis, Fancy LaFleur will stick to run and use Jacobs' consecutive plays.
Fancy LaFleur?
Yeah.
He's a fancy boy.
Fancy.
Fancy pants.
Fancy Pants LaFleur.
Fancy braless, fancy pants.
I don't agree that you have a better chance to win with Willis, but you still have a chance.
I think in the context, if an immobile Jordan Love versus a mobile Malik Willis, I do agree. I don't think that first half version when after he sustained that initial injury that obviously then carried on throughout the game.
Yeah.
I do not think that team with that offense has any chance to beat the Lions.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It's just not functional enough.
Ryan chimes in. Stop yelling, Kurt. Nicely done, Ryan. And then our boy Bill says, Strouf, what's going on with this Brooks guy and taking all of Emmanuel Wilson's time? He can block the hell out of defenders. That's what's going on with our guy Brooks. What's his first name again?
Chris
Brooks. That's
it.
it.
Would have been his first career touchdown that he went down.
I know. I did see that. How unselfish is that? He deserves one next week against the Lions. So anyway, we'll see. All right. Appreciate y'all hanging out. We'll do it again Wednesday. Hopefully I'm a little bit more optimistic ahead of this Lions game, but I really feel like this could be season changing, the result of Sunday's game. Josh, you want to laugh in my face before we wrap it up?
Yeah. I mean, it's 1/17th as season changing as any other game.
We'll talk to you on Wednesday. It's Mr. Relevant. I'm Alex Strouf. Peace.